So, good morning, everyone. I am Roxanne Jane Comendador from BSE Ed F1A. So, today we're going to talk about the institution that govern international relations. So, we have the lesson papers. So, the first one is the UN and NATO. The second is the non-governmental organizations or NGOs, and the third one is the Global Economic Associations, the WTO and the NAFTA. So, what is United Nations? When we say United Nations, is an international governmental organization that aims to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly or the friendly relations among the nations, the achieve international corporations and be a center for harmonizing the actions of nations. So we have the four areas of United Nations or UN. So the first one is military issues. So it supplies food or clothing, ammunition issued by the government. So military issues, it refers to the U.S. military law, has emphasized the principle of the prevention and early intervention in preparing for in treating um, those affected by the psychological ones or more recently the civilian communities in the United States have increased efforts to minimize psychological sequelae for individuals exposed to mass trauma, the violence. And the second one is the economic issues. It says that economic problem exists. It's because although the needs and the wants of people are endless, the resources available to satisfy needs and wants are limited. And the third one is the environmental issues. I yes, environmental issues. The example of that are the flash floods, COVID-19, pandemic, and many more. And the last one is the human protection. It's a collective term for the federal, state, and university policies, procedures, and ethical consideration that protect the rights and welfare of human beings who participate in research as the subject of it. So, arin na ta sa NATO or the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was created in 1949 by the United States, Canada, and several Western European nations to provide collective security against the Soviet Union. So, the NATO is a formal alliance or the between the territories of North America and Europe. From its inception, its main purpose was to defend each other from the possibility of communist Soviet Union taking control of their nations. So the next is the non-governmental organizations or NGOs. Non Non-governmental organizations and global economic associations also given govern international relations. NGOs are not tied to any country or nation state. So organizations which are independent of government involvement are known as the non-government organization or NGOs. So NGOs are subgroup of organizations that funded by the citizens, which includes clubs and associations, which provide services to each member and others. So as what I've said earlier, that NGOs also cover international relations. So first I will define to you what is international relations. So international relation is a field of study that the factors and processes that affect the interactions among state and non-state actors across national boundaries. And also, we should always remember that the NGOs is not the tied to any country or nation state. It's because NGOs are the independent type of organization uh, organization. In addition, a nonprofit group that functions independently of any government, sometimes called civil societies, societies organized on community, national and international levels to serve as social or political goals such as humanitarian causes or the environment. So the next slide is the example of international or NGOs. So the first one is the Red Cross or Red Crescent. The Red Cross is an international organization that helps people who are suffering, for example, like flood or disease. None of them. Um, it is a mission to elevate human suffering, protect life, and help and for the human dignity, especially during our conflicts and other emergency. That is function of Red Cross or Red Crescent. And the next one is the Doctors Without Borders, a group which sends psychiatrists and other health workers to some of the most destitute and dangerous and parts of the world, and encourages them not to only care for people but also to condemn injustice they encounter. And the last one is the Amnesty International. It's a global government, movement of more than 10 million people in over 150 countries and ter- territory, territories who campaign and abuser of human rights. And we should always remember this that non-governmental organizations play a vital role in international development, aid and philanthropy, and also NGOs are non-profit by definition, but may run budgets of million or up to billion of dollars each year. And lastly, we should always remember that NGOs rely on a variety of funding sources from private donations and membership those due to government contributions. So next is the Gulf Economics Associations. It's a professional association which promotes a pluralistic approach to economics. Its key principles include worldwide membership and governance and inclusiveness towards the variety of theoretical perspective and applications of economics. So the goal of Global Economics Association is to promote personal contact and mutual understanding among economists in different parts of the world through the organization of the scientific meetings, through common research programs, and by means of publication of an international character and problems of current importance. And lastly, lesson summary. Global politics entails relationship of countries and different government and non-government actors. And there are several international organizations that government of countries around the world and individuals participate in such as the UN, international NGOs and global economic associations like the World Trade Organization or WTO and the North American Free Trade Agreement or NAFTA. So lastly, the summary of NGOs. Since the NGOs are not tied to any government, they can operate fairly through the world. So as what I've said a while ago, that NGOs are independent type of organization. So that's all. Thank you for listening. God bless.